This is how they make giant ship propellers from scratch. First, a full-size wax or wooden model is packed in sand to form a mold. Then, molten aluminum bronze is poured inside it, and once cooled, the casting is removed. After cleaning, skilled craftsmen machine and polish every blade until it's flawless, ready to power massive ships across the oceans.
This is silk plaster, which is technically a liquid wallpaper. It's made from a dry mix of silk fibers, minerals, and glowing pigments, but after adding water, it turns into a smooth paste that you spread on walls like plaster. And this dries into a soft, seamless surface that looks almost like fabric, which under normal light, it looks like silk, but under UV lights, it glows with a deep dark fluorescent effect, which not only looks pretty cool, but because of its tiny fibers and bumpy texture, it absorbs sound quite well.
Did you know that when a dense metal gear is dropped into a steel shredder, the machine suddenly stops? That's because shredders are built to handle materials within a certain hardness and density range. When something denser, like tungsten or hardened steel, goes in, the blades can't cut through. The sensors then detect the overload and automatically shut down the machine to prevent serious damage or fire. This wooden board looks surprisingly soft, but wood is normally stiff and hard, right? Not only that, this guy even built a cabinet door with it, and it slides super smoothly. So how does a rigid wooden board bend like this? Well, it's actually wood combined with fabric. First, cut the wood into thin strips, then spread glue on the back and stick them onto a piece of fabric. Once the glue dries, the fabric holds all the strips together and you can bend it however you want.
Have you seen the Dutch government's ingenious trick to save money? Check this out. From the outside, it looks like a normal small trash can. But when the truck lifts it up, a very large container comes out of the ground and the hole automatically closes so that no one falls in. With this trick, they don't have to come every day to collect the trash, and by coming once a week or once a month, the job gets done just the same.
When a carbonated drink was poured onto a car window, the glass shattered instantly. But here's the weird part. When another guy did the same to his own car, the glass stayed perfectly fine. So what's going on? A carbonated drink doesn't have enough pressure to break car glass. The real reason wasn't the drink. It was a tiny crack already in the window. When the cold drink hit, the temperature dropped and the carbonation made that crack spread fast, and the glass broke.
Won't you believe it? The Japanese are bringing giraffes from the African jungle in containers and keeping them in national parks to earn millions of dollars. As soon as the container is opened, the mother giraffe in front comes out first, and the baby giraffe behind looks at its mother coming out and also tries to come outside. Then the baby is released too, and it runs toward its mother. Later, they will raise and nurture them to make them an attraction in the national park.
When the nozzle opens, thousands of gallons of water burst out from the bottom of the aircraft. This impressive scene happens when a water bomber releases its load to fight fires. But how does it refill so quickly? The plane usually heads to the nearest large river or lake. Underneath it are two small water intake openings, each about the size of a human palm. When opened, and with the aircraft moving at high speed, it can take in around 1,600 gallons of water in just 12 seconds.
Oh my god! Traveling here means inviting death. This is the world's most dangerous railway track, but trains don't run here. Autos do. Yes, in Nigeria, people ride these rail autos to reach the city. These autos run on old, rusty tracks, automobiles with wheels as round as rails. One small slip and you risk falling straight into a ditch, but somehow they manage to get people to the city.
If a penguin walks up to you in Antarctica, never touch it. Because when photographers are approached by a penguin, they freeze and stay perfectly still. And even when a penguin climbs onto their lap or their face, they still won't move an inch. And it's not because penguins are dangerous or that they're scared, because they will still approach you willingly, as they are the only animals there walking on 2 feet, so sometimes they mistake humans for one of their own. But here's the problem. Their feathers are covered in a thin, oily layer that keeps them warm and waterproof, which can rub off shockingly easily even from a gentle touch.
So this is the cyclo-cable bike lift in Norway. Because many roads there are steep, Norway created this clever solution for cyclists. Riders place one foot on a small platform and it gently carries them uphill. It makes daily cycling easier and also draws tourists who want to try it out. Do you think something like this is really needed? Believe it or not, this ancient tool works almost like magic. It's simply a cylinder with a piston, but when you press it hard, the air inside heats up so quickly that it ignites. This is called a fire piston. Hunters and travelers in Southeast Asia once used it for survival, and it was so impressive that modern scientists studied it. In fact, its principle directly inspired Rudolf Diesel when he created his engine.
In 5-star hotels, eggs are prepared in a special way that can earn millions. First, the eggs are placed in molds. Then, they are dipped in the fruit's juice to give them the same color and texture as the fruit. For example, strawberries are used here. To make them look even more realistic, the seeds from the strawberries are also added onto the eggs. Finally, they are served in a premium way.
In the gardens, people harvest bright red chilies and take them home to sort by size. Families sit together, skillfully weaving them into long strings for drying. Hanging under the sun, the chilies lose moisture evenly, preventing spoilage. This simple yet clever method preserves their rich flavor and color, keeping the spice alive all year round.
This Chinese man is a genius because he invented a unique ladder that can move while you're still standing on top of it. You don't need to climb down to reposition it, just press a pedal and it rolls to where you need to go. It's especially useful for painters working on ceilings and walls.
Unbelievable. Do you know why the Chinese are at the top in sugarcane production? This has been made possible by their care in cultivation and the smartness of their process. Look, since sugarcane is very sweet, sometimes blue algae and various dirt form on it, so they spray water through pipes in the sugarcane fields to wash the canes and clean them by rubbing with cloth.
Check this out. Villagers are smashing chunks of deep blue lapis lazuli, breaking it down into a fine, vivid powder. Every strike brings out more of its rich royal color. The powder is then carefully sieved to remove larger pieces, leaving behind only the purest dust. Water is added, creating a rich blue pigment, which is stored alongside other natural dyes like turmeric, indigo, and clay. Fine cotton threads are dipped into each dye, slowly absorbing the color until they're fully saturated. Once dyed, they're laid out under the sun to dry. When ready, each colorful strand is hand-threaded into a traditional wooden loom. Bit by bit, the threads are woven tightly together into a vibrant patterned rug. When the final strands are cut, the full design is revealed, natural, traditional, and absolutely breathtaking.
This might be the wildest fermented drink you've never heard of, chicha de yuca. Made by Ecuadorian natives, it starts with chewing and spitting out ripe yuca. The enzymes in saliva break down the starch into sugars, which then ferment with the help of wild yeast. The result? A mildly sweet, slightly sour, traditional alcoholic beverage. This is exactly why people in China keep getting richer. The moment this man learned that traders were coming to inspect the cherry orchard, he mixed a few chemicals into hot water and then poured liquid nitrogen over it, because he knew exactly what reaction was about to happen. Within seconds, a thick cloud spread all around. The cherries began to shine brightly, looking fresh and perfectly polished.